Hi everyone, it's Veroosh and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to be here today to do another tarot card reading and the astrology. I pulled these cards for us preparing for a long reading as opposed to last time, and I actually pulled 21 cards. Some of you noticed that I was doing a 15 card spread, but I actually used to do a 21 card spread, so I'm excited to do that for you today. Before we do that, we will do an astrological overview. There are some pretty big energies that are with us before the Libra micro full moon on April 12th. If you understand the energies that we are talking about today, the pivotal point that is the Libra full moon will make a lot more sense. These energies flow beyond the full moon until about the 17th of April, and they are standalone energies that add to the energy of the Libra full moon. So I thought you would find this interesting. One thing to pay attention to is that the transits we're talking about are a sequence of energy. This means that they are happening one after the other or in a combination. We've already talked about some of them, and I will highlight them for you as we go along. So the first energy we want to pay attention to is Venus station direct in Pisces on April 12th. This will happen at the same time as the full moon. The messages you want to keep in mind for this energy are that you have gone through a full circle journey of self-awareness. The end of the retrograde cycle marks a point at which you have revisited issues to do with the past that you may have not fully addressed previously, and now you have addressed or are in the process of addressing. Whatever the world is telling you about your social situations, romantic situations, anything to do with other people and emotions, listen, pay attention to them. Even if it feels slightly uncomfortable, make sure to pay attention and use this energy to make the necessary changes. In the tarot card reading that we will do, there is definitely a situation coming up for the collective that involves managing stress involving other people. You must listen to what you are being told to do in this situation. Some of this information is not comfortable to hear, but it is the key to your progress and success. Some of the steps that you must take to finalize this situation will be uncomfortable. I sense a hesitancy and delays with wanting to do it, people putting things off. If you take these steps at this time, the situation will be settled for good. This is the fastest way to solve your situation. Act truthfully at this time and with integrity. If you do so, the outcome will be bright. When Venus is stationing direct, she is going to pass Saturn 3 times. And when she turns direct, her and Saturn will transit through the chart together for several weeks, which is rare. This combination of transits, Venus and Saturn, is going to empower your life to change and improve the circumstances that you are in as you seek appropriate emotional dynamics in your situation. This connection is a life lesson of the heart. This energy aligns your actions with what the heart really needs and desires. During this series of conjunctions, issues to do with relationships may emerge. Some of the themes may be to let go, and for some people, the choice will be forgiveness. Stay true to yourself. These lessons are vital to your success and life fulfillment. If you have been unfair, there will be pangs of self-awareness. Remain teachable. If you respond well to the lessons that you are being guided towards, there will be positive outcomes. If others have been unfair to you, you may be feeling the need to walk away or to become more flexible. Relationships aren't an on and off switch. And so sometimes distance may be the solution to a lack of kindness. The Minor Grand Trine Sextile is a powerful energy connecting 3 planets of harmonious elements. 2 transits are in the same element, and they connect through a third through a midpoint. So in this case, we have the elements of water and earth interacting together. The Minor Grand Trine Sextile initiates energy and potential for change. On April 6th, 2025, Saturn, Uranus, and Mars form this sextile. We talked about this before in a separate video, and I will provide you a link in the description. In summary, Mars in Cancer was leading the way as Uranus was acting as the agent of change in between Mars and flexible Saturn. Saturn was flexible in Pisces because it has reached a full cycle of its orbit around the sun, and it's ready to change and transform into new structures and possibilities. The Minor Grand Trine Sextile between Saturn, Uranus, and Mars was only the first in a series of aspects involving several planets. Now we're going to take a look at Venus, North Node, and Mercury, and how they interact in a similar pattern to Uranus and Mars. This energy will continue until about April 18th when Mars enters Leo. Okay, so let's take a look at Venus, Uranus, and Mars. We already discussed the trine between Venus and Mars, in which Venus is now catching up to Mars in their planetary cycle, and they will begin their next planetary cycle in January 2026. During this time, Venus and Mars formed a triple trine relationship. This means that Venus formed a trine to Mars 3 times. In January 2025, this happened when Mars was retrograde. This means the masculine energy was doing revision and looking at Martian energies to understand them better. Things such as action, belief, and the way that we assert ourselves. Then on April 6th, we had the second trine form between Venus and Mars. This was when Venus was retrograde in Pisces. During this time, we were looking at beliefs, belief structures, and how we want to change the way that we feel about situations. Finally, on May 22nd, 2025, Venus and Mars will form their final trine between Aries and Leo. This is when both the feminine Venusian and the masculine Martian energies are moving direct. We will be out of the Minor Grand Trine Sextile, but this is the energy that all this is flowing out into. We covered all this in a separate video, and I will provide it for you in the description. One thing to keep in mind is that now when Venus turns direct on April 12th, both Venus and Mars will travel together in a loose trine for a period of time. And this loose trine is going to facilitate your relationships and personal dynamics. Before this happens, Uranus is the midpoint, which means that unexpected material changes may influence how Venus and Mars interact. This could be an improvement in material conditions, changing your mind about financial matters, or Venus and Mars working well together towards financial improvement or otherwise material improvement. Okay, so let's focus on the North Node now. The North Node is the turning point for major life events. It's a portal through which Saturn and Venus will pass through soon. The North Node in Pisces is the energy of destined outcomes, spiritual growth, karmic development, higher self-awareness, and other forms of finding yourself in the spiritual world. The North Node is going to continually hold aspects to Uranus and Mars in the Minor Grand Trine Sextile until April 17th when Mars enters Leo and breaks the aspect. Uranus is the apex point that acts as a catalyst for transformation as Mars pulls us forward, and the North Node allows for change in the Pisces element. Saturn's influence on your fate changes the situation. Because the North Node is with Saturn at this time in the same position, this gives you room to expand and to explore. Fights over resources, money, prompts a system change. If you have been wrong, the truth will emerge as the facts are too obvious not to see. This moment gives you the opportunity to go after something that your heart has wanted for a long time. It may be something that your heart has given up on, or you don't believe any longer can be yours. Saturn creates space for that desire to manifest. Someone may come back into your life after a period of separation. All of us are growing and learning, and they too may have realized certain things after moments of self-awareness. Finally, let's look at Mercury in Pisces. Mercury turned direct on April 7th, 2025, and it will form aspects to Uranus and Mars until April 15th when Mercury enters Aries. This is also a minor grand trine sextile between the three planets. In this aspect, Mars acts as emotional instinct, inspiration, creativity, and nurture. Uranus in Taurus is a radical shift in material reality that will once again change the dynamics between the Pisces energy and that of Cancer. Don't be afraid, this is likely an improvement in your material wealth, body, or values. Mercury in Pisces is all about symbolic communication. This is the creative space where confusion meets inspiration and creates beautiful outcomes. This is the space where dreams speak to you and give you insight that your logical mind will struggle with. Together, these three transits likely will create motivation and inspiration for you to create a whole new dynamic and a whole new world. Mercury facilitates growth through poetry and art. Speak from your heart. If you are honest and speak in good faith, good things will happen. Pay attention to your dreams. Channeled writing inspires new financial and aesthetic directions. You encounter different forms of communication that open up your awareness. Listen to that which you do not necessarily understand at first. Something that needs to be said is released to promote healing for everyone involved. There's a lot of dates that are interacting with this energy, but I would like to highlight a few. Maybe something happened for you last year in May. This is when the Sun met Uranus in roughly the same position. What's special about this aspect right now is that Uranus has been sort of hanging out here for a long period because of its retrograde cycle. This means that it formed several key aspects to different planets last year. If not in May, then maybe in July of 2024, you experienced something unique involving Uranus and Mars. Look back to mid-July, and there you may see some kind of catalyst begin or a phase of a change in your life for the better. Looking back a little further, the Sun joined Jupiter in this position in 2012. Maybe some lucky event happened for you in May of 2012 that this is echoing. In 2022, Mercury and the North Node joined here. This could have been an important communication or some kind of self-awareness that was coming to you that you are now using in your life. In May of this year, we're going to see the Sun joining Uranus in the 27th degree of Taurus. This is an energy to look forward to, despite the fact that this conjunction will be under Algol, the Medusa star. We'll talk about this in a separate video. Two other key dates that I want to look forward to. Sun and Mercury will join in this position where Uranus is in May 2026. There could be some kind of communication involving the things that are happening that comes to you. So if there's some doubt or lack of clarity in your situation, in 2026, around May, you should get some kind of definitive answer or outcome. If we look a little bit further, in May 2030, Mars and Saturn will join in this position. To me, this signals a big outcome or big transformation leading out of the current energies. I hope you like this style of reading. I have a lot of fun putting it together. Let me know in the comments what works, what you'd like to see more of, and I'll try to fit it in. Thank you for watching. So let's go over to the tarot card reading. Hey everyone, that was a really good astrology reading. It was way bigger than I planned. I had planned like a quick 5-minute thing and it turned out several minutes, but I hope it gives you an idea of the energies that we are under. And I think these minor grand trine sextiles are very, very special. Let me know if any of the astrology you would like to know more about. And if you would like to leave a comment, I pulled a question from my question deck for you to answer if you like. When you answer the question, make sure to include your sun, moon, and rising so that we can analyze your placements. Okay, so let's talk about these energies. Like I said in the intro, someone mentioned that they remember that I used to do the 15 card spreads. They were actually 21 card spreads, and maybe I've done 15 card spreads as well, but I really like these 21 card spreads, so let's work with that. Let me know how you guys like the more structured and organized tarot card reading. I personally like the pressure off to perform for the audience live. This gives me a little more time to sit with the energies and figure out what's really going on. Don't worry, we'll do the regular all sign readings. I just thought it would be a nice way for us to enjoy the astrology and the tarot in a different way together. Okay, so one of the themes that has come up in the astrology portion is that there may have been some conflict that we were all working through. This is symbolized by the transits in Pisces, especially Venus and Mercury retrograding from Aries into Pisces, going back to something personal or something that was uncomfortable. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you were going through personal problems with other people. And in this row, this is what's showing up. We have the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, the Tower, the 2 of Swords, the 7 of Cups, and the 4 of Coins. This looks like a situation that's not easy to resolve, and it feels as though there is a lot of tension and pressure from both sides or all sides of the situation. In the center of this row is the Tower. This signals to me a drastic change, break, or transformation, and I feel as though the outcome is not yet clear because there are hidden motives and hidden intentions, and maybe not even hidden, but people are coming to realize what they feel, trying to understand what's going on. And so this is leading people to be quite careful or quite conservative with letting other people in. So let's go through this row with a little bit more detail. I think this is the foundation of what this energy is about. So it looks like from the get-go, there is a lot of pressure from all sides that people are dealing with. So if you're feeling pressure, if you're feeling stress, you're not alone. It's a time when a lot of different things are happening for people. Listen, if there's a situation at work that involves some kind of conflict, you need to be very tactful because feelings are hurt. Feelings are hurt, emotions are hurt, people feel offended, and so you're working in an environment in which not everyone is on the same page, and in fact, people have internalized what's going on and they're feeling it's personal. So maybe it's at work or maybe it's in your personal situation. This to me seems like work or a public space. The combination of emotional hurt as well as the 10 of Wands pressure to me signifies that you are working in a very tenuous, unstable, and somewhat sensitive situation. I think looking at this, I don't think people have bad intentions. I think that people have been hurt and I think they're under a lot of pressure, which is a really good combination actually. What I think is actually happening is that you should put on your diplomat hat and treat those people with kindness and compassion. The thing that can go wrong in this situation is that when people are under pressure, they may react in a way that's not true to character or otherwise they may be not proud of. This can lead to a tower situation. And I think my advice for you is to not react. I think that if you are seeing things buckle and break, these may be reactions that are coming from a place of hurt. And if you react to that, then it will just continue and escalate. And I think that the better solution is to let sleeping dogs lay and allow those embarrassing behaviors to sort of pass and move on from. Otherwise, you risk the point of escalation. And I will take it to the last card for this is the Page of Wands. To me, in this deck specifically, the pages look really suspicious. To me, this signals a person who could try to triangulate, which is get in the middle between people and exploit the situation, such as getting between you and your boss to try to elevate themselves or some other behavior. So I think that this is signifying that there is someone who is out to no good, who's getting mixed up in your situation, and they are in some way trying to create discord or separation or chaos for people for their own reasons. And so therefore, it's a vulnerable situation for many people. And I think that when you have people that are acting out of ill intent, I think it's important to be tactful and responsible, because then you will give your power over to an unstable energy, and that energy will run with it and cause as much damage as it can. Okay? So if there's a situation in which there was some pushback, somebody was hurt, somebody lashed out, it was unfortunate, I think you should think about it as people tend to react to situations in the heat of the moment, but later on they wish that they didn't act like that. So I think it's a more prudent and careful approach to understand that maybe they reacted and later on they regretted it. So you don't react to their reaction and escalate things, leaving room for this person who seems to be sneaking around, whoever this is. Okay? They may be a fire sign. They may be, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if it's at work or in another situation. What I see at the end of the line here for you is that there is a lack of clarity that continues, which is the Seven of Cups. So go back to my activation times, the dates that I provided you, especially the ones involving Mercury. In those dates may be some kind of clarity that you want. This is suggesting a prudent and careful approach. Look out for number one. Don't be a miser, but make sure that you are being conservative and careful in this environment. It's not clear on many different sides. At the center of this is Sun in Scorpio, which I like this so much. This is why I think that in this situation, it's not as bad as it seems. Not as bad as it seems because let's say this person was replaced with this person. This would look very different. In this case, it would look to me like someone was messing around with bad intentions. And the reason I don't think this is a bad situation is this. I actually think people have good intentions and circumstances have sort of gotten out of control. I think it's really important to be careful and not allow third parties to escalate. Okay? So this is a strong reminder that you are in a supportive environment. This is strongly recommending that you move away from all conflicts and issues. Allow the stress to unpack and dissipate. We have been under eclipses, lots of transits. So people are all sort of bouncing off of each other energetically. Your personal finances and wealth are strong and they continue to grow in positive directions. Here we have Saturn in Taurus, which is the Seven of Pentacles. These are long-term goals and long-term plans that are still emerging and are still successful. This is why we have the Four of Pentacles, which to me signifies a careful approach in this situation. Be smart about your money. And this is kind of like you have to deal with your money circumstances on your own. Do not rely on your partner or people around you. If you rely on yourself and your money on your own, you are going to have very positive outcomes. On the tail end of this period of time, you will see that money merge with others or lock into family dynamics, family wealth, family situation. But for now, what I would say is watch your money. Make sure that you are taking care of your money well. Make sure that you are investing in yourself and that you are managing your money for yourself. First and foremost, there is very good luck for you ahead in terms of work and in terms of applying yourself, okay? Your money is looking extremely good. In the distant future, not too distant future, it does look like family and possibly a relationship become more important or become somehow a more key element involving money. But for now, it's all about you focusing on the grind, focusing on not spending too much, and applying yourself and creating that revenue for yourself. So we have Saturn in Pisces here. Saturn is in Pisces right now in terms of a transit. It's one of the minor grand trines that we are seeing. So this card is going to be everywhere, the Eight of Cups. In this position, I feel like walking away from situations, it's doubling up with this Six of Swords, is to your advantage. When feelings are hurt, when they're in the immediate, things can sort of get out of control, but there is an underlying familiarity and closeness between people, which means people essentially like each other. So your work, or there's an emphasis of air in your environment. This will continue for some time. This means computers, technology, working with knowledge is going to continue to be something that you are bringing forward. For people who are dealing with legal issues, it seems as though this is a good environment for things to work out. So I don't do legal astrology. I think that is best to talk to a lawyer. But as an eagle eye view, it does look like there is a good energy here for resolving legal disputes, misunderstandings. This is talking about fairness and justice, the Justice card, Libra. And so it seems as though through the energy of the Palace of Swords, confusion or a lack of decision, Two of Swords, can lead to clarity and a decisive moment that is lucky and positive. Okay, this doesn't mean hurting someone through the law or being hurt by the law. This is about finding a fair and equitable resolution. And if it's not the law, then it's your dealings with other people. Things will work out. This is a signal. You can talk about them, you can resolve them, and be proactive. Yeah, so this Five of Wands to me signifies the stress. So we have some stress cards, which is the Ten of Wands. I would say even the Three of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Swords. But this Five of Wands is telling me what's going on. People are buckling under stress. So whether it's you or people in your environment, there's just been a lot of stress. Remember, we're taking the energy from Aries into Pisces. And in Aries, we have Chiron. Now, the Sun and Chiron are about to form a conjunction together in a few days. So it's a reset for that energy as well. This means that our personal issues are getting kicked up. The dust is getting kicked up, and these issues can feel sensitive. There is a little bit of a loss in terms of emotional dynamics between people. This might be reflected by the Three of Swords, which means that certain people are hurt right now and they may not be so open to relating, communicating. It's very clearly saying that you should allow this to happen and not try to engage or try to mediate or definitely not tried to escalate the situation. You have a potential to improve this in the future, but for now, it's a hands-off approach. Focus on work, focus on your money, make long-term plans, stand up for yourself financially, and look forward to a very bright future. Some of you may choose to travel in a situation in which there's some lack of clarity, which is Venus and Scorpio, the Seven of Cups. Remember when we were talking in the Venus and Mars video, and I mentioned that Venus created her first trine to Mars from Scorpio last year. I believe it's in October. So this is a timeline for us from October, November last year. You may have had a degree of confusion around you. And as Venus forms her last trine to Mars before they form their conjunction early next year, you may want to travel or use the money that you've earned to broaden your horizons. This doesn't mean that your relationship is ending or that your emotional situations with others are breaking. It just means that at this time, you may go on a unique journey, maybe by yourself, to somewhere far away. The world is calling your name. So I've already told you what I feel about this person. I do think that you guys should be careful around who you trust. It seems like a card that's way out of the sequence of all the other cards. So to me, it just feels like maybe like a fox that's preying on chickens. So something from the outside environment peeking in and trying to interact. I think that provided that you keep your guard up and be careful, you will be fine. These cards together, which is the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, to me suggests that this person may be after money or something like that. So be cautious with who's sneaking around and just be careful who you tell what to and all of that. So I did save the best for last because I didn't want to, I wanted to go out with a bang, and this is the plus of being able to do this in a pre-filmed option. And so the big thing that I see, because we've gone through the ups and downs, there is some kind of a break in terms of love. And I think I already sort of mentioned it here with the Nine of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles, which is a change in which people come together and start sharing resources more. And I do feel like this is mid-range, so this isn't happening yet, but it's on its way, okay? But what I saw was the Tower, and the Tower is like the secret relationship card. There's a change of heart in this situation, and this makes sense because both Venus and Mercury retrograded from Aries into Pisces, changing our awareness, changing our understanding, and waking up our hearts to things that we may have missed. So we have the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups here. And to me, this seems like somebody's heart has awakened to you. They are receptive to you. There's a strong intuitive component. And I showed you guys this when I shuffled and picked the cards, the High Priestess. It just feels like there is an appreciation and a gratitude for your energy. So someone wants to know you, someone wants to be close. So I'll leave it at that, and you can be on the lookout for it, not to be a buzzkill, okay? But for some people, this will be a non-romantic relationship. Not everybody wants a romantic relationship, but it looks romantic. It looks like a very nice, heart-opening, heart-awakening moment where a drastic change is initiated and love pours into someone's heart for you. Very, very much true love. So someone thinks highly of you, and I think that that's going to be a key to your future, okay? So lay off the people that you've had conflicts with. Allow sleeping dogs to lay, and be careful of this person sneaking around. They may be from somewhere far away because we have the World card here. I really don't trust it, okay? So just be careful. But I think it's more of a nuisance. So like a fox killing chickens, you know, not something more horrible than that. Just mind your coins, mind your mouth, mind your coins. And I hope you have a good time. Thank you for watching. Let me know how this all went for you, and I'm glad to be back, and thank you for all your comments. We'll talk again soon. Take care. Bye.